time I want to just chat about my expectations, my hopes, and how I see what is coming on Warhammer 40,000 9th edition. I started Warhammer 40,000 on 2nd edition, and I played all of them since that moment. Okay, I played 2nd, I survived to the change to the 3rd edition. Was a big change, really, as big as the change from 7th to 8th. I played the 4th, the 5th, the 6th and the 7th edition, and of course the 8th edition I've been playing recently. Maybe the editions I play the most, the 2nd and the 3rd, and the 8th. Okay, I have to say that 7th was the less appealing of all the editions. I think was too crazy, but I have a lot of expectations now for the 9th edition. I think 8th edition was very good. I think one of the best editions and that we have on Warhammer 40,000, and I was surprised that 9th edition was coming that fast. Okay, but most likely it happens like Age of Sigmar, right? 3 years and then we have the 2nd edition. I hope the rhythm is slower in the future, because a new edition every 3 years is quite a lot. Okay, let me just my expectations on what I see. So the first thing I see is that it's going to be a game changer. So a lot of people were thinking that it's going to be 8.2. I don't think it's going to be 8.2. There are some big changes that can change completely the army list, the meta, and how we play. The interaction of the terrain, something that we will need to learn, but it reminds me a little bit, is between Age of Sigmar and also, I think was in 5th edition. In 5th edition, for example, the woods were blocking line of sight, as we are going to see now with some piece of terrain. So I think they standardize the type of terrain by rules. I think it's going to be quite interesting, and I really want to see the terrain to be more interactive. Today, what is the terrain? I had +1 to my save, that's all. Or I block line of sight. So I like to see more on the terrain. I think the terrain have to be more, not the main character, but have to have some role in the battles more than just giving +1 to save or just blocking line of sight. And I'm quite excited to see that. Another thing that is interesting is that we are back to have reserves as we used to have in previous editions. You will need to pay command points, and I think it's quite fair, right? So you have the advantage to be able to attack from the flanks, not from the backward, okay, but from the flanks and so on. So this is going to be also interesting to see how it's adding another level on the way to make the strategy, also the way to make the army. And armies that traditionally can be quite static, being able to attack from the flanks can add a little bit of variation. And I guess you can choose this once you know what is the deployment, right? So you can use the army and then decide if you go or not go for flank attack or not. I also like that the vehicles will be a little bit stronger, okay, with the blast. They will make a little bit more stronger, and that they can shoot in close combat is also quite interesting. But remember, if they fall back, they can still not shoot. And this is something that is bothering me a little bit. Why a vehicle falling back will not shoot, right? At the end, they will not be scared of that, but okay. We need to see all the rules, right? On top, to fall back, you will need to spend command points. This is another thing that is interesting. I was expecting vehicles to be able to fall back without spending command points, and the infantry to have more problems to fall back. Let's see. And I'm also wondering if the vehicles, I don't remember by heart all the rules, if the vehicles can die by or can have mortal wounds if they fall back, right? And of the other big change is that the Overwatch will cause as well will be a stratagem, so this can change a lot. And so for in these two things, I think the close combat will be really benefiting, right? You will see close combat armies being a little bit stronger, right? We have the new size of the tables that are going to be slightly smaller. We are going to have just one Overwatch, except if you are Tau, of course, per round, because it's a stratagem, and they will have limitations to fall back all this and give some points or give some benefits to the close combat. To be fair, in the last battle I was playing, I just was charging with my cannoness, killing a couple of guys, and then the rest of the guys were just running away from the cannoness. So the cannoness was feeling like chasing guardians on the battlefield, right? Without being frustrated, without being able to engage them in close combat. So I think this can be quite interesting. And as well, we need to see how all these common points are generated, how many you will have, how many you will need to spend to have different detachments. So I think they're also betting or trying to push the people to have mono-codex armies and try to penalize a little bit the subs. Of course, the subs or the mixture of units will be allowed as well in Warhammer 40,000 9th edition, but you will pay common points for that. That I think makes more sense, right? I was wondering why having 2 detachments, okay, is giving you more common points than just the guy that is really focusing on 1 detachment and trying to focus on just 1 codex. So this is quite as well, I mean, for example, if you do Imperial Knights and you just play with Imperial Knights for Imperial Knights, you have less common points than a person that is combining Imperial Knights with Imperial Guard today, right? What I think should be the other way around, right? One have the benefit of the combination and the other one is just limiting him to 1 codex only. And I think I quite like him. The only thing I don't is still bothering me a little bit more, and is the stratagems, right? I know that at the end you end up playing with 3-4 stratagems. I don't know why. We have a list of 20 stratagems, 25. I think the only way to deal with that is that you focus on the stratagems that you are really interested to play during the game. And it's difficult to remember them all, right? You try to remember the 3 generic ones, and then you will try to remember 3, 4, 5 that you like from your codex. But it's going to be difficult that you remember the 20 that you have in your codex. Most likely you will not need the 20 because some of the units you will not have it on the battle to be able to use a stratagem. So I guess it's a combination of making the list to make use of some of the stratagems, plus remembering the key ones, right? The most important ones. But it's something that I'm still adapting that. Maybe I'm getting old and I don't have enough memory to remember all the stratagems that we have. But it's something that escapes. We have a lot of layers of rules, right? Today we have the Space Marines. You have the Space Marine rules, and then you have your chapter rules, and then on top you have the stratagems. So it's quite a lot of layers of rules plus the character rules. So and you have to. It's a lot of tricky how you combine them all. So I guess this will continue in 9th edition, and it's something that we need to learn to deal with. But I really like what I see. My expectation is we are going to see more close combat. Close combat is going to be more powerful. We are going to see, I guess, more vehicles, but the vehicles are not really that strong. And the only thing I'm a little bit hesitating is what will happen with the units. We are going to see elite close combat, or we are going to see hordes. And the hordes are going to be quite penalized. Okay, we have seen that they will be more easy to kill with blast. I like a lot the change on the moral, on the leadership checks. I think this is a very interesting change. I really like it. So I think it's going to make more interesting now the leadership part, because yeah, today if you lose by 1, okay, I lose 1 guy and it's not a big deal. But now if you lose by 1, if it's a big unit, you can have a big deal. Anyway, in Warhammer 40,000, I always feel the leadership is quite limited, right? And Space Marines can repeat, Tyranids with Synapse, they don't care. The Orcs, they compare against the numbers, so when you only have 5 and you lose, you are really obliterated. So it's the leadership is not one of the main things I find in Warhammer 40,000. But okay, let's see how this evolves. But this is all what I want to talk here. I wanted to share with you what are my expectations, what are my points, what I'm taking. And please know it's time for you to leave in the comments below what do you think about what we have seen up to now on Warhammer 40,000 9th edition. Please leave your opinion, share your comments, share your opinion, and make any question you want in the comments below. I'm always looking forward to see your comments. As usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.